Hey dear people, today I want to talk about how you can learn a new tune or how I am practicing a new tune. Most of the times it's a tune a student brings in, or I heard it somewhere also some time ago, can be a long time ago, but I still remember the tune. I thought it's really beautiful, and maybe at the same time there's also a spot where I'm feeling I can't really navigate the changes and I'm getting sentimental over you. Such a beautiful tune. It's the half diminished chord in bar 3 and it has a really long duration, so I sort of have to acknowledge this chord because sometimes if I can I just ignore it, right? But here's very prominent, and one of the first things that I do is really like listen to different recordings, get some inspiration. Like in A minor, try it, on the F sharp half diminished, and then just like a B7 arpeggio on the B7. It sounds so cool, right? But it's also the way he phrased it. Also this mega long line from Sonny Stitt, it like never ends, or you think it ends now, but it still doesn't end. It's so beautiful. I could like spend days practicing this line, and I really want to do that, but I also really want to improvise and I only have so much time. So to be perfectly honest, I actually really often print out a lead sheet from one of the real books and then I just play along to the different recordings. Also a really good exercise in transposing, and then I just try to hear if the chords fit or if they don't fit, or if there's some other chords that are being played, but just if it's generally the lead sheet is okay in general, right? And also if I have a tune like this, I always check which form does it have. So right, it has A, B, A. In which key is it? It's an F major, right? And also I'm looking out, is there anything that sort of can trip me up? Sort of can be like a point where I could lose the form. And here in this piece, the last A part has like 12 bars, 4 mal 3, 4 mal 3 is 12, 4 times 3, 3 times 4 is 12, right? So I'm already making like a mental note that this last part, this last A part is different, and that I'm going to watch out for this different feeling. And then I'm just like, going to record all the chords on my looper in a very basic fashion, right? So if there's F major, just like using the shell voicings, B minor 7, E7, nothing fancy, sometimes even ignoring any extensions or options, just like, really getting the sound of the tune. I'm going to record that now for a minute. At the moment I'm always recording with my audio interface, and I'm using a plugin from Logic. It's called Cool Jazz Amp because it allows me to practice with an amp without disturbing the neighbors, which is really cool. And yet then I'm playing the melody, and already right, I can read the melody, I can practice reading the notation on the sheet, I can practice the melody in one position of the fretboard and just training to play it there. But I find that so unsatisfying, because if I would like to improvise between lines, or even if I want to have a more like a free approach to the melody, I need to have another way of practicing it. And right, if you just listened to Jim Hall, right, people don't play the stuff exactly like it's written on the paper, but it's like a story, it's a storyline, but then they give a little bit the own twist of it. And so you need, or I need, to be flexible, and to be flexible I really need to understand it. And so one thing that I started to do lately is to sort of analyze the melody and understand the melody, so that it's not just like a order of notes. And in this case, it's really cool to analyze the melody. Always depends on the song, right? Sometimes we have like logical constructs and sometimes only one note. But in this case, the first chord, because we're in F, is the first 4 notes is an F major arpeggio. So it's an F major arpeggio that starts on the 7th. And I would just like go ahead and play that in different positions. And then the melody continues like to the 6 if you want to, but then very clear. And I love that, right? And that's a C minor triad. And then just really take the time and just just like really play that for a while, and also in different fingerings. And also this C minor triad, right? I'm playing it over the A half diminished. So it's basically the same thing that Jim Hall is doing on the F sharp half diminished. He's also playing a minor triad, right? So I'm already having an idea for this half diminished chord. And then I'm moving on, right? The melody is so cool, like on the G7 and the C7, right? So I'm having the G7 right here in bar 5, and I can think it's on the 2nd degree, it's a secondary dominant, right? 5 going to 5. Very often people use like the Mixolydian sharp 11 sound here, right? But also checking out this melody, I already learned I can play this upper structure arpeggio, which gives me the 9. Or I also can play the chord. Many options. And then it continues, and I like that, right? And then it's morphed in the C7. I already feel I can't really play that very easily, so I will like construct an exercise about just like playing those chords and those arpeggios. And like this, I already have a lot of new ideas also for improvisation. So now I'm going to improvise a little bit and just trying to play the C minor triad over the A half diminished, also those upper structure arpeggios on the G7 and the C7. Just to understand it really helps also to remember it. So it's not like an abstract melody that you have to learn, but it's like little groups of notes that you can connect. So I would go on exploring stuff like this, right? But then I also would already have been practiced for like 1 hour or something like that. And then I would just like stop and come back the next day to the same song. I'm making notes for myself, you know, if I find something like those arpeggios here, I would just like make a mental note and then try to work on that the next day. So I hope I could help you a little bit with this video, and I see you next week. All the best for you, keep on practicing, bye bye.